Hi everyone, everyone who is watching this either live or joining later. I'm Amanda Noddings, Mama 2. If you're on my Facebook page, you probably know me, but you might be seeing this through one of your friends or some other way, YouTube, Instagram, something. So I just want to say good morning to you. Hello. So I'm like a night shift working, sleep deprived mama, so I hope I'm holding it together okay for this video. I just want to say good morning, Jen, morning, Holly. I just wanted to come on here and kind of explain a little bit more because I know there's a ton of excitement about 2B Mindset, but there's also still a lot of questions. And with my info group running, people have been learning a lot and hearing a lot about it, but I kind of want to be able to touch you one-on-one. Morning, Heather. And oh, thanks for the hearts, guys. And address any of those questions, kind of tell you a little bit more, make it make sense a little more so you can really see if it's something. Morning, Deborah. Morning, Sonia. And see if it's something that you think might be a tool for your toolbox, kind of. Does that make sense? So I just wanted to kind of just answer any questions you have because my new group that's going to be totally nutrition focused starts in like a week. Look at all those little hearts. Oh, thanks, guys. So really, if you want to jump in, it's like, it's the time if you want to be starting with the rest of us. So I wanted to definitely go over all that. Boy. Woo! Okay, so let's get started. So I wanted to address like who this program is ideal for. I just totally hit myself in the face. God, I'm good at this. Okay, so this is perfect for honestly pretty much everyone. The only person I would say it's not perfect for is somebody who is hell-bent on doing something exactly the way they have for hundreds of years and they love it and they don't want to change a single thing. They feel 100% satisfied with their nutrition, their diet, they're happy where they're at, they don't feel like they have any issues or pitfalls with their nutrition. And yes, Ed, perfect. And we have some great results from men in the original test group too. And I have posted those in my info group, so I can add you and let you check it out if you want, or I can send them to you after this. Just send me a message. This is something that is heart healthy. The nutritionist, Alana, who designed this, she's a registered dietitian. She has a master's degree in dietetics, and she is AHA certified, American Heart Association. So this is a heart-healthy diet, right? Diet meaning the food you put in your body, not go on a diet. There's a difference. So this nutrition program, this way of eating, this life, this way of thinking of food is something that is good for all ages and types. Now, one of the cool things that we were able to do in the test group is do it on the first initial test group of like 100 coaches that span the ages of 18 all the way to 60, over 60, I should say. There's a whole category of people who were above 60. So we have postmenopausal and active menopausal and perimenopausal, regular women, men who have not been able to see any shift in change even when they build or lose muscle mass, but it's still covered. Really just all different ages and shapes and types of people. People with PCOS, people with hypothyroid, pre-diabetic people. It's not really set up for a full-blown diabetic eating plan. There are modifications you could make, but you would need to be like communicating with your own doctor at that point if you have full-blown type 2 diabetes. Other than that, really everybody. And here's the thing. I think that the key to this program and being successful is to go into it with a completely open mindset. An open mind. You're developing a new mindset, a new relationship with food. And I really want people who join us to go into this with the idea that this can be the thing that changes a lifetime of misconceptions with food. This could be the thing that changes a lifetime of negative emotions regarding food and nutrition and your body. That's really what this is going to focus on. So what was interesting in the coach test group is some of the people, of course, who have been coaches a long time, are fairly active. I would say this is kind of the category I fall in, are in great athletic shape, but that doesn't mean that we are 100% at our personal body goal or we're where we want to be. Hey, Carly. So I would say, like with my DEXA scan that I had done and everything, oh, hearts, thank you. I can see the areas of my body that I still want to work. I call my FAS. And where I still need some improvement. And that is reinforced by my DEXA scan that shows my body fat percentage is higher than I would like it to be. That areas, whatever, where I still want to work on. But no amount of squats is going to change that. We all know, like I've always told my challengers that the workouts are the icing on the cake. Although I probably need a better expression, so I'm not talking about cake. But the workouts are for the toning and the aesthetics and how you look in a swimsuit or how you carry in a dress or how good your arms look during tank top season. That's what the workouts are for, the shaping and the sculpting. But you can't outwork an unhealthy diet. And also, not every one person is the same. For instance, and this is kind of hard to talk about a little bit, I guess, but when we did 80-Day Obsession recently, people were having the most phenomenal results. And I was lifting heavier than most of my challengers, and I was eating pretty darn healthy in the top third, like best choices in every food group and whatever. But although I loved the workouts and I got amazing strength gains, my body fat percentage actually went up because the nutrition plan wasn't ideal for me. So that tells me there's something I need to shift. And the only way to really do that is to kind of tailor your nutrition just to you. So some people might be a little more carb sensitive, where they react differently to having carbs the night before, or more than a certain amount in a day. Some people might be able to process those and eat those and get away with them like murderously, which you are the people I hate. Just kidding. But that is ideal, right? You can have everything you want. But to me, like, I show those things, especially when I get into those poorer choices. But I also want to be able to have them. I don't want to live the rest of my life only eating a burger on a lettuce patty, right? And I certainly can't go out to eat and measure my food with containers all the time. That isn't necessarily ideal. It's possible, but it's not necessarily livable in all situations. So in this program, we really get into what happens when you're traveling. How do you stay on track with your nutrition when you're traveling? What happens when something bad happens in your life? One of the blessings of, okay, so let's go back a little bit. Alana, the RDN, that designed this program, and she spent 2 years working with Beachbody designing it. She was actually hired by them like 2 years ago as a nutritionist for their staff. And when they found out about this test group she'd been running at UCLA, this nutrition group, they just were like, we have to design something just centered around nutrition for our clients. And so this is the program that we're starting with. And I want to talk a little bit about the test group she had at UCLA. So much like the coach test group, she was able to run a quarter-long group, like you would sign up for it like a class. And it was like basically a nutrition counseling. Now this lady charges, by the way. Sorry, my watch is going off. It's dying. And it wants me to pick my son up for preschool, and he's not at preschool. So, excuse me while I take that off. Hi, handsome. So, UCLA. So when they hired her, they said, okay, here's what you're going to do. This is the creator of this program I'm talking about. They said, hey, Brittany, they said, you're going to run a test group or a class, and we're going to see a weight loss group, and that's going to be what we hired you for. You're a master's, you've lost 100 pounds on your own and kept it off, so you have a master's in nutrition, and you're an RDM, which I don't know if you guys know, but there's a huge difference in a degree. Someone saying they have like a minor in nutrition, or saying they have this or that, and then actually being an RDM. It takes a lot of schooling and a lot of education. And basically, you're almost to, hey, I saw the face. You're almost, you can take the same coursework, and then you can take the MCATs and go to med school, or you can become an RDN. So this is a high level of education. It's not just like some online certificate or some thing you do at a whim. So just so you know, look up the difference between a nutritionist and an RDN, and there's a big deal difference. So anyway, they said, here, we're going to give you this, and here's the class, and whoever registers for it, you have to help it. So what she did was she put into practice what she learned, and she started giving people like principles and guidelines to live by. No containers ever to measure, no calories, no carbs, no macros, no here's how much you eat. She has never once in her career given out an exact meal plan. ever. And she said she never will because she doesn't really believe in them. Because if she's going to tell you, here, you're going to go home and cook asparagus and broccoli and chicken and fish, and this is what you're eating all day, every day for the next 12 months, and then you will lose X amount of weight a month, that is probably going to work for most people, but it's not livable and it's not functional in real life, right? And we all know my focus has always been, if you follow me, you know this, what's livable for real life? What can I carry on in my real life living? What can I do that is sustainable? What can I do that improves my overall health? You know, like I always say, adding a tool to my toolbox, something that's going to benefit me and enrich my life, not restrict it more, right? So they told her at UCLA here run this thing, and so she did the first quarters class, and the average weight loss of everyone in the class was it's as long as it takes you to work through it, Ed. That's how long it is. Hey girl, my neighbor on there. So I'll get into that in a minute, but about a month, but probably longer for me because I know I probably have some more issues to deal with than everyone. So okay, so they gave it to these people, and at the end of the quarter, it was like an average weight loss of 12.5 pounds. And so they said, well, that is with people of all different ages and demographics and stages of life. And what happened as she was running this class was, and if you want to get in the info group, or you want to order, you want to just learn more about it, I'll put you in the group I have that's full of videos and testimonials and info and all that. Just drop me something below and let me know, and I'll make sure and add you when I'm done with this video. I can't do it right now, guys, while I'm live. So what happened during that first quarter, I keep wanting to say semester, that's why I keep hesitating on that, is that I went to UW, and that we have a semester system, so that confuses me. Anyway, what happened was things came up in people's lives. Someone that would have like a parent die, or you know, a holiday. It was like Christmas came. Oh, okay. Or Labor Day weekend camping came, and then in the spring Easter and Memorial Day. And so these things would come up. It's like, well, or someone had a business trip, or someone went home for Christmas break, and they're like, well, what happens when you go home and you're surrounded by all these things that you don't keep in your own house normally, right? We've all had this experience. Or what happens when when you go out to dinner and whatever. So one of the videos that in this program is literally her sitting down with takeout menus for Indian, Chinese, Mexican, you know, Japanese, sushi, all the takeout you can think of, and teaching you literally how to order and enjoy that food that you love, and still use the to be mindset to frame your food so that you can still eat the things you want in a realistic way and enjoy the things that you want. So, you know, for the next quarter, she tweaked it a little. And then at the end of that quarter, the average weight loss was 15 pounds. And then another quarter, and it was like 18 pounds. And I don't know if you guys know, but a quarter is 3 months. I'm not saying you don't know that, but I'm just saying, in that, I don't know if you know that, but in that time period, not only do you have all these things that happen in life, so it's a lot harder to get long-term results from a group that spans a larger amount of time than it is to do like a 3-week or a 4-week or a 1-month challenge at your gym and have people get good results. Because people can be focused for a really short amount of time. People can do the thing for X amount of days. And I think what most people do when they try and like start a diet or sign up at a gym or do a challenge or something is they look at it and go, okay, how long can I do this? Is this something I could do for like the next 30 days? Is this something I can stick? I can stick with this for 30 days. I can stick with this for 21 days. I can stick with this for, you know, a summer or till I get my summer body. And then it's just like a matter of slowly creeping it all back. And part of that cycle is something we are going to try and break in this. You know, we want to eliminate the idea that this is a restrictive thing and really embrace and nurture healthy relationships with food. So, you know, fast forward to the end of this UCLA teaching after 2 years of consistently doing these semester classes that people enrolled in. And like I said, she never gave anyone a meal plan, not one. she just taught them these same principles that we'll be using and these same foundational tools, and they implemented it themselves at home. And she still to this day checks in with those people once a month, everyone who's ever gone through her thing, and they're all still maintaining or in continuing, depending on how much they had to lose, their weight loss, even now years later, which is really phenomenal. Not only does it mean she has great integrity, but it also means that these principles work, which I think is, sorry, I had an itch. So I think that's really exciting, especially with the varied amount of age groups and the time that you pass. The fact that there's a 60-year-old professor and a 22-year-old undergrad in the same program and that they're both still losing weight is pretty phenomenal. And like I said, this can be the thing that changes just a lifetime of misconceptions about food. So on to the coach test group. One of the things that happened in the coach test group is now she's with Beachbody, she spends 2 years developing this program, and last February they did a coach test group comprised of Beachbody coaches like me. I was not in this test group, so I wish I could say I was. And they put a bunch of them, and they had every demographic they could find represented, all different ethnicities, religions. They really want to see how it works for everyone when they do these, and they're serious. You have to really embrace it. You can't talk about it. You sign 5 different waivers saying you can't tell anyone about what you're doing, not even your basic friends. You just can't talk about it at all. You can't go to work and say, look what I'm doing, and I'll share it with you when it comes out. It's very secretive, and it's very strict, and they check in daily on how they're doing. And So what I think is really interesting about the coach group is that not all Beachbody coaches are supermodels, right? I mean, I'm 180 pounds. There are many that are plus size. There are people who just started their journey. There are people who are already done with their journey. So there's all different levels of coaches. When I started, I was 250 pounds. So it's not something that we all look like personal trainers and are super fit. We're all just people passionate about living a healthier life, or at least I hope we are. That's my thing. And good morning, guys. Thank you for the highs and the hearts and the likes and the shares. I saw someone share the video. That's awesome. So the coaches in the test group, this is interesting because some of them were in really good shape, obviously, and some of them weren't. And not only did the people who weren't in good shape have success, but the ones who were in good shape, a lot of them decided to stop working out altogether. Oh, thanks, guys. And just follow the nutrition by itself, because they wanted to be able to finish the test group and say, this is what I've been doing the last 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. This is what changed my mind. This is what made those pounds finally move. And then some people continued working out. Some of the people who stopped working out started saying, I miss my workouts. They make me feel so good. I get energy from them. And she's like, well, then why did you stop? Keep doing it if it's what makes you feel good. For me, my workouts are not the problem. I'll do it because it's on my calendar. I'll do it because I like making that X. I'll do it because for all the years I couldn't and I should have. And it really helps my mind and it helps give me those good endorphins. So I'm fine with doing the workouts, but the nutrition piece still needs work. And what was interesting in the test group is that some of the coaches who didn't have a weight loss goal, who were like, why are you picking me for this test group because I don't need to lose weight, they had, a lot of them ended up seeing that last 5 to 10 pounds that you think you're never going to lose come off, which hadn't happened with even doing crazy workout programs. And I think that's really unique because that's something that I think in a lot of us were like, this is it, this is as good as I can get, or this is whatever. And then we also tend to fall off when we stop doing something. What happens if you fall off the wagon? We're going to go over that in one of the videos. What happens when I hit a plateau? Where do I go from there? And then each day in our group, we're going to be working through all of this information, not all of this information, piece by piece, this information together. Because even though these videos, so what it is a series of videos we'll be working through together, as well as materials and tracking tools and stuff. But each of these things is really compact with tons of information. So they did a really good job of making them concise and short so that a busy person like me who works night shift up all day with their kids and has very little time can still fit this in their life. However, just because you watch all the videos in one day and binge watch them like a Netflix series in one night while you're on the couch with your Halo top, I don't know anyone who would do that, it doesn't mean that you're going to lose weight faster. It's really about absorbing the information and breaking it down and then implementing it in your life. And so for some people that will take one video won't apply to them. Maybe they're like, well, I kind of have a handle on this, so maybe it doesn't take that long to implement. It's just a tweak of the mind or a shift of your thought process. And then some people are going to have a really hard time with some of the things. Another thing that came out of the test group was like coaches who didn't think they had any emotional eating issues at all found that they did. Like, good morning, Angela. Morning, Katie. Morning, Tanya. They found that like someone said, oh my God, my son just broke his arm and I went to the ER, and while I was sitting here in the waiting room, I just ate like 12 candy bars from the vending machine. Maybe I do have an emotional reaction to food, because the first thing I could think of to do is or boredom eating is something you just do, is the idle hands or the devil's plaything, right? Or, so everybody has different, quirks or hangups. For me, I grew up watching my mom, and I don't really like to talk about other people very much because I think that's not really fair. That's more of their story. But I will say that I grew up watching my mom. Well, first of all, I grew up with my late grandmother, super, super obese. Like big quadruple bypass, diabetes. And she died a year before I got married, and I would have loved to have had her at my wedding. Open heart surgery, all the obesity related issues you could have, she had. And then I grew up with my own mother. My overall impression, I would say, would be that she was happier when she was in shape and she was sad when she was not. And she would do like the zone diet and it would work. And then when she stopped doing it or fell off or whatever, she would gain weight and she would not be happy again. Then Atkins or fit or fat or high protein, low carb or keto or whatever, it's kind of Atkins. What are you doing, Turkey? He's in the closet. Get into peanut butter. This must be lunchtime. The kid's got a clock like that. Wish I only went to actually he eats all day long. Kind of like his mama. So, I love my mom to death, but I will say that my impression of diets and being smaller was better and bigger was worse. And I think another thing I see a lot of with my clients and my challengers is food is a reward, like, hey, your kid did great on their grades, let's take them out for ice cream. And like, oh, you had a bad day at work, let's pick up some ice cream. It's like, wait a minute, it's for good feelings and for bad feelings. So we tend to reward with food, either ourselves or our children, and the cycle just continues. And really, food is just meant to nourish us and for us to enjoy, right? I love food, y'all know that. So I'm never gonna be doing a program that involves starving myself, not being full, not being satisfied, not having a big plate of food in front of me. I am not, if you are looking for a plan where I'm pushing 2 or 3 spinach leaves around on a plate, you got the wrong one. Because that is not me or the life I want to live. And if you follow me on here, you know I like to eat. I share my food on Instagram, same thing. So, I don't know. This program is the opportunity to really make some shifts in your mindset and some tweaks that make you stop being a slave to food and a slave to having a measured amount of food that you have to have, and where you can kind of make happier, healthier decisions, a new way of life. Does that make sense? What's she saying? Like a treat. If they get all their homework done, we can get ice cream. Yeah, and that's a really dangerous thing, I think, personally. I really try not to do that with my kids, just because I don't want food to be a reward, and I also don't want my kids, to feel like they have to do X, Y, or Z in order to enjoy A, B, or C. Hey, I'm trying to do a video. Someone's knocking at the door. Hold on. Hello? Hi! Ha, 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 ha. Oh, look what I found in the closet! Ah, it's a kid! You little goofball. So to me, the reason that's unhealthy is because you end up going like, you know what? I deserve this because I did this. And then, oh, Alonzo says hi.
Hi, Alonzo.
So he's making his PB&J here. So, like, we try and talk about treats as once in a while things, or you know, just because we ate pretty good the rest of the day, maybe we can have something good, or something extra, or, you know, we do Friday night is family night, and then we'll pick a dessert that night, but we try and restrict it to, like, that night, just as, like, it's a good special occasion, but also, like, to sprinkle them in wherever. Like, oh, yeah, you ate lunch. If he says, well, can I have a special treat since I'm done with my lunch? I'm like, well, sure, why not? One thing, and just keep it moderate, because I don't want to attach emotions or the feelings of self-worth to food with my kids, because I know that I have some of that, you know? Obviously, it's a learned behavior, and then we do the same thing with our kids. This is going to be a mess, I'm sure. So, anyway, I'm kind of off on a tangent, but that's really something that, these are all little issues we have with food. And like, for me, I will do something, and I will be like, oh, I did well, I did my workouts, I ate well all week. I deserve to have this because I've done so good all week. I deserve this because I did that. I can have that because I want to have it, not because I deserve it. It's food. It's not like a paycheck. I deserve that because I earned it by going to work every day. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. So anyway, that's kind of my thinking and what we've tried to implement here since I was young. We make one dinner. What's for dinner is what they eat. You can't get seconds until you finish your first, but if you're really hungry, then you can have seconds. Not clean your whole plate, or else. Try and encourage stopping when you're full. Not stopping when you're full, stopping when you feel like you're not hungry anymore, instead of stopping when you're full. Well, that's another hang up I have. I like to eat a lot at once because I really like the feeling of being super full and like having a lot of food, because I just want to make sure that I have it because I can. So anyway, these are little issues that I have. I don't know if any of those sound familiar to any of you guys, but those are the kind of things we're going to be tackling in this program. The people I have who have already ordered and signed up are already pouring through the videos and getting started, and I'm like, slow down, wait for me. But I want to make sure that we get everyone in to start next week who wants to be. So if that's you, if you want to know more about it, if you have any more questions, we have a killer deal while this is just launching on the promotion price for the bundle challenge pack. So it's really a great way to get your nutrition back on track and try and attack some of these fundamental issues so that they become non-issues for your future. So that's a little more about it. I hope that answers some of your questions. I hope that really that helps motivate you. It's really funny because a message just came up on the top from Alana, the RDN of this, sent me a message on Instagram, and it just popped up while I'm doing this video. So that's a little, I have a little fangirl thing going on with that. I'm excited for this. I'm excited to help people really change their mindset. I think that people who have maybe been in a cycle of having to be on a diet, in a strict diet, in order to see any change on the scale, this will be something that can help them make this more livable. And it's a model that your whole family can follow to eat. It's not something that's like you're going to have to be doing different things for different people. And it's not something where when you go out to eat with your friends, they're going to look at you and go, oh, you're doing that again? Or, oh, you're doing some weird diet? Or what do you mean you have to measure that? Or why are you eating that when we're all eating this? It's something that you can make choices at any restaurant you go to or any family function that's still livable and healthy and still makes you feel satisfied and not restricted. And that's important to me. It's important to me to be able to live life happily. So even though the program is called To Be Mindset, I really think it's more about like, it's to be empowered. Right? It's to take your power back surrounding food. It's to be successful. It's to be for life, you know? So that's kind of where my mind's going with this. The group will be opening up today. I do have that info group open that is not our challenge group. It's just more information about this program, pictures of what you get, videos on what you get, results from other people that have gone through the program, so you can see that. So if you want to jump in that and help you make your decision, I'm happy to put you in there anytime. And if you want to get going with us, send me a message and I'll help you get set up. So I hope this helped. I love you guys, and it's time. It's time to make a shift. If you're watching this for more than 2 seconds, well, A, I know I'm gorgeous. But B, Bless you. Salud, baby. But B, it's probably because you feel like you have something you need to work on or something you haven't figured out yet, you know, and you've been struggling with, and maybe this will be the thing for you to get control of that part of your life so that you don't ever have to feel like that controls you. These decisions or these diets or these, you know, I can go to this party because I've lost 10 pounds, or I can enjoy my life, or I can go to this barbecue, or I can't go to barbecues this summer because I'm embarrassed about how I am, or whatever. Oh, but thank you. He knows I like the peanut butter. And I can do that on 2B Mindset too. All right, guys, I love you. Message me if you have any questions, and I'm going to get off here and stop rambling. Elijah, you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Bye.
Okay, see you guys later. Bye-bye.